good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the round 1 of the CRL AI Championship here at Bathurst. But lining up at the back of the grid, we have Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz. Oscar Piastri in 20th, Lance Stroll in 19th. Franco Colapinto lines up 18th, with Alex Albon in 17th. Nico Hulkenberg 16th, Sergio Perez in 15th. Ocon in 14th, Hamilton dismally low in 13th. Oliver Behrman in 12th, Valtteri Bottas lofty in 11th, Pierre Gasly lines up 10th, Gabriel Bortoleto lines up 9th, Fernando Alonso lines up 8th, and Isaac Hadjar beats his teammate at 7th, George Russell 6th, Liam Lawson lines up 5th, Kimi Antonelli 4th, Arthur Lindblad 3rd, very high starting position, Lando Norris lines up 2nd, and Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari is our first pole position of this season. All 22 cars are lined up on the grid waiting to get underway. Who will win? Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, or Arvid Lindblad? Or maybe a surprise win outside the top 10? Oh, eyes to the lights, and it's foot to the floor as Charles Leclerc gets a good start. Lando Norris does not get a good start. Arvid Lindblad is on the inside. Oh, Lando Norris into top 1. Charles Leclerc gets a clear getaway, and up the hill we go now. Charles Leclerc created a 1 second gap in the first sector. Arvid Lindblad under pressure from Kimi Antonelli. You can see behind side by side. Kimi Antonelli looks like he's made a move, and he has, into turn 1. Kimi Antonelli now up to P3, chasing Lando Norris for the P2 position. Further down the grid, Lewis Hamilton's dropped down to 14th, but is now ahead of Esteban Ocon, once again back up into 13th. Then go back to Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen, who are at the back of the grid after a poor qualifying yesterday. Both will be looking to make up positions and get back up into the top 10. Oscar Piastri and Max Verstappen, well, Oscar Piastri has dropped down a couple of positions. Max Verstappen is up 1 position into P20. Oscar Piastri having a shocking start. And down into the tight corkscrew-like part of the circuit. Max Verstappen's car gets a bit wayward. Now, into this section, you get out of the hairpin. If you get a great exit, you can make a move down this long straight. Oscar actually looks like he got a great exit as we move back onto Kimi Antonelli, who is behind Lando Norris. But then we move back to Oscar Piastri, maybe look for a move. And Kimi Antonelli maybe look for a move here, but makes a slight mistake. Arvid Lindblad putting him under the pressure into the final corner. Kimi Antonelli locks off, and he's gone off the track and into the gravel. That is Kimi Antonelli out of this race. Now we're on board with Esteban Ocon behind Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas, who are side by side, the former teammates at Mercedes in 2021. Lewis Hamilton's made a move in the cockpit cam of Esteban Ocon, and he goes around the outside of Valtteri Bottas into and up this hill, almost hits the wall. And makes a very nice overtake from the Haas driver. Gets him up into 12th place. As we're on board, Franco Colapinto look for a move down the inside of Nico Hulkenberg. Not quite close enough to go for a move this lap, but maybe a move is incoming. Now from one Alpine to another at the end of sector 2. Pierre Gasly qualified pretty high. Now behind the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso down this back straight. Fernando Alonso doing really well in that tractor car this season. Down this back straight, you can tell the Honda engine struggling as the amount of time the Alpine gains behind in its slipstream. Maybe we'll cover it. Now on board with the Red Bull of Isaac Hadjar on the outside of Liam Lawson. Maybe made a mistake into that corner and locking up as Isaac Hadjar looks for another move down the inside. Not quite close enough at this event, but maybe down the next straight. But no, Fernando Alonso is now caught up to the back of the Red Bull. Fernando Alonso knows he's down on power, but maybe a bit of overtake / boost mode down this straight can maybe get him the move. Isaac Hadjar definitely looks like he's struggling a bit now after that loss of a move on the V-carb. Now on board with the Alpine of Franco Colapinto, stuck behind the Cadillac of Valtteri Bottas, who qualified P11, I believe. Now on the helicam, you can see that Valtteri Bottas is actually pulling away down the straight. You can see how bumpy this track is in cockpit cam. As we go into the braking zone, Franco Colapinto looks for every bit of time he can find through these corners. He really wants to get that move done. He does not want to be stuck behind that slow Cadillac for too long, especially as there is the Audi of Vinny Glogberg now catching up behind him, maybe putting him under pressure now. Now with Lewis Hamilton, who is in the top 10 after qualifying in P13 behind the Haas of Ollie Behrman. Looking for a move, he's definitely quicker, you can tell for all these corners he's basically pushing the Haas through him. Up the hill, not close enough to go for a move. We all know Mount Panorama is a very tough track to overtake at, but Lewis Hamilton will want to get this move done as quickly as possible to avoid ruining his tyres and catch up to the pack of Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso, and maybe even look for a P6 in this race. Now with Isaac Hadjar behind the V-Carb of Liam Lawson still, that one overtaking opportunity may have been his only chance to overtake him on track today, but Isaac Hadjar will be looking for anywhere he could put the V-Carb under pressure or go for a move in this race down into score. He's not quite close enough to go for a dive, but a move must be soon coming for the Red Bull driver. Now on with Lewis Hamilton, look at his rear wing. You can see Gabriel Bortoletti has actually caught up to him and Oliver Behrman. Oliver Behrman is probably struggling on these tyres now, keeping the Ferrari driver behind. Now into the tight hairpin here. Lewis Hamilton, if he gets a good exit, can maybe look for a move here. But I don't think it's been good enough this lap to maybe even threaten on the lap. Now it's the pit stop winner Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly, Oliver Behrman and Lewis Hamilton have all come into the pits. Valtteri Bottas will have clear air, even though he's not that quick today, to go past all of these drivers coming to the pits. Fernando Alonso comes out ahead, will come out ahead of Pierre Gasly. We're more focused on Lewis Hamilton and Oliver Behrman. Those two within a second of each other all race, and I believe Lewis Hamilton's come out ahead of Oliver Behrman. So a great stop from the Ferrari pit crew as Fernando Alonso stays ahead of Pierre Gasly, but they'll all come out in the traffic of a battle between Oscar Piastri and Sergio Perez, as Oscar Piastri goes for a move on Sergio Perez, making his first overtake on track of the race as Pierre Gasly hits the wall, maybe some driving damage for the Alpine car. Lewis Hamilton will be frustrated. He's stuck behind the Cadillac of Sergio Perez. You can tell he's much quicker than the Cadillac, but there's nowhere for him to go for an overtake. As we jump to George Russell coming out the pits, it's lap 18, maybe looking to catch the V-Carb of Arvid Lindblad by the end of this race. We all know the Mercedes has pace, especially in the hounds that came out to Delhi, but maybe George Russell can show some of that pace today and get up into the podium positions where the Mercedes deserve to be. In the cockpit cam now, you can see how difficult it is to get up this hill and through these corners, and you can see how tight it is. Unbelievable difficult for drivers. They're now on board with Esteban Ocon chasing Gabriel Bortoletti for 11th place with Franco Colapinto directly behind him. Avoiding the residue wards from last night's rain making the track even more difficult. You can see the drivers struggling. Let's go up the hill as he almost spins it. Now what on with Esteban Ocon. Franco Colapinto looking for a move on in doubt in the turn one. Franco Colapinto maybe has to run back up the hill. Don't think so though. Esteban Ocon using the lot of boost mode, I assume, to keep ahead of the Alpine driver. Esteban Ocon is also in the pack behind Oliver Behrman. All of them looking for the final points paying positions, which all matter in this very long but very important championship. Oliver Behrman holding it stronger in P10. Now in a pack with Gabriel Bortoletti, Esteban Ocon looking for a move here. They've lost touch to Oliver Behrman, so no points for these four drivers, but they're all going for the glory today. Esteban Ocon surely looking for a P11 would be great as well. Not close enough here. In the cockpit can we go. Looking for as much time as possible, but trying to avoid the puddles on either side of the track. Not trying to lose the time either. Down onto the main straight now. Esteban Ocon in the slipstream. Boost on. Activera on. Not close enough on this occasion. But now back up the hill. Whoa. Esteban Ocon almost spins it. If we go back up the hill. Esteban Ocon not gaining on the Audi car. Actually on the pressure from Franco Colapinto. Franco Colapinto locks up a bit. Not close enough still to make a move just quite yet. Esteban Ocon gains a bit of time and almost spins it. On the final lap of the race, Charles Leclerc comes home through the final corner now to win the Australian Grand Prix. Now we are with Lando Norris, who will come home a solid P2, started P2, no one was as quick as Charles Leclerc today, 25 seconds gap was the gap to P2. Charles Leclerc, incredible drive, but a good drive from Lando Norris to come home in P2. Another story of the day will be Arvid Lindblad coming home in P3 in the V-Cup on his technical rookie debut through the final quarter. Amazing drive for him, showing the entire Red Bull team maybe what he should be in the main Red Bull team, as George Russell comes home P4. Great drive from Isaac Hadjar comes home P5. Fast teammate to Max Verstappen to actually properly beat him, and Liam Lawson P6 comes home nice behind his teammate. Great drive, double points for the V-Carb. Now Fernando Alonso, the man himself, will come home in P7 in the tractor, the slowest car on the grid. This man can drive anything apparently, because he comes home in a great P7, beating out Pierre Gasly and Lewis Hamilton in the Ferrari, who makes a good recovery to come back in the points. Oliver Behrman survives the onslaught from Gabriel Bortoletti, Esteban Ocon, and Franco Colapinto in P10. Gabriel Bortoletti survives in P11. Esteban Ocon, P12. Franco Colapinto, P13. Nico Kuba, P14. Max Verstappen, disappointing P15. Valtteri Bottas will be in 16th. Our finishing order on the podium was Charles Leclerc in first, Lando Norris in second, and Arvid Lindblad in third. Our rest of the order is George Russell 4th, Isaac Hadjar 5th, Liam Lawson 6th, Fernando Alonso 7th, Pierre Gasly 8th, Lewis Hamilton 9th, and Ollie Behrman 10th, with Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri to each outside the points. Our driver standings are Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, Arvid Lindblad, George Russell, Isaac Hadjar, Liam Lawson, Fernando Alonso, Pierre Gasly, Lewis Hamilton, and Ollie Behrman in the top 10. The constructor standings: Ferrari lead with 27 points, Racing Bulls in 23, McLaren 18, Mercedes 12, and Red Bull in 5th with 10th. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next race.